Yes. Ah. I don't like getting punched in the head. I don't even really like getting punched in the arms. Or at all for that matter, which is something that some of you might know I can pull off from time to time. Now, if you learn some simple techniques, you don't have to get punched in the face either, so I'm going to teach you one. It's my favorite way to deal with a straight punch, and it's called the slip, or sometimes I refer to it as the straight slip. Either way, the first thing that you need to know in a straight slip is a movement called the shoulder pop. The shoulder pop. So look, this is a movement that I use for the most part just to load up a punch. So for example, if my left shoulder's in front, my right shoulder's in the back, I want to put my left shoulder in the back in order to get some power. Now I can unwind with that shoulder. So the shoulder pop is the movement that basically does that. I'm just like dipping into something so I can fire a punch from the other side. Now the reason why this is important to reference is because a slip is like a shoulder pop, but you obviously move in and you move your head a little bit deeper. Not much deeper, but you have to move it a little bit more because it's not like you're just loading up a punch. You know, you want to be making the guy miss, so the head movement has to be a little bit more significant. And usually I want you to be encroaching at the same exact time so that you can slip and counter punch. From the left side, imagine that somebody's head is right here and you're trying to smack his head 45 degrees down to the ground. That's the type of violent action that I want you to have with your shoulder when you're thinking about a shoulder pop. A slip is going to be the same thing, just a little deeper. Okay? So, the shoulder pop loads up a punch, a little bit smaller than a slip. Now you know that, and now you can move on to the slip lesson. Now let's go back in time to a lesson I filmed maybe 2 or 3 years ago that still holds a lot of value today. So, just like in the shoulder pop, we're going to kind of crunch this ab, take this shoulder 45 degrees. Now the whole point of slipping is to just move enough to make him miss his punch. So Tom holds his arm out. I need to make this punch miss. I step that much. I want you to imagine a fist. And now I want you to imagine the point where this fist would actually make contact with my face. It's interesting to note that I barely have to move my head in order to make this punch miss entirely. Maybe 6 inches of movement in either direction, and that punch would never come in contact with me at all. Let's examine this a little further. So watch as my boy Casey tries to punch me in the face. And please note, he is actually trying to throw his fist into my face. What I'm going to do is execute a simple movement known as a slip, where I move very little, I don't freak out, and because I remain calm and execute this movement, he misses every single time. And he's also slightly off balance and counter-punchable. You might be saying to yourself that we're cheating and that I always know Casey's going to throw a right straight. And every time he throws a right straight, I move my head slipping this way. But I want you to realize that if he throws a left straight, it doesn't matter. Right straight doesn't matter. No matter what he throws, as long as I move my head 6 inches that way in the middle of the slip, he's going to miss. So I'd like to point out that making somebody miss repeatedly is a pretty terrible strategy. In fact, I recommend that you program yourself to counterpunch immediately after you slip and make somebody miss. So Casey doesn't get a second chance to throw a punch at me. So he throws a punch in my face, I slip, I throw a massive hook to his head, and that ends it right there. Now before we continue, now seems like an excellent time to click the like button below this video. It might be over there. I don't know where it is. And subscribe while you're at it. Now the main difference between a shoulder pop and a slip is just the fact that I need to get close to this guy during my slip, and a shoulder pop is very abrupt. It's just for a little extra power in your punch. In this case with a slip, I need to actually make sure my head misses, and I need to get close to him. So this is the length of Tom's jab. My hook is considerably shorter. My uppercut also shorter, and those are my big power punches that I want to hit him with after he misses his jab. So I need to make sure I step like 12 to 18 inches in while I do like kind of a deep shoulder pop. I don't want to do too deep of a shoulder pop. I want to save my energy, and I want to get to that counter punch as fast as possible. Again, Tom throws a jab to my face. I step in. I can hook him to the body. Boom. I can hook him to the head. Boom. It doesn't even matter if he's pulled his hand back. I'm in close. I can still see his body. I can still split his hands with that uppercut. So that's a slip that loads up your right shoulder.
When I want to do that, I drop my left shoulder in. Now I have power because of this distance here.
As you can see, the original purpose of this video is to get you to slip a punch and then immediately rip a counter strike, which would put the guy to sleep and end a fight. I'm always thinking about ending fights, and I had no idea that people would want to learn how to slip 50 punches in a row. Regardless, you have to get this movement down first, and you have to get it down to both sides before you can start tying together and slip multiple punches in a combination.
Now this slip takes a little bit more effort. It loads up my left hand, and I have to actually kind of twist my body up a little bit when I do it. So if Tom throws a jab, whoop, I slip in this way, I get closer, my right shoulder is in. Now I can hook him directly to the body, I can hook him to the head. I love hooks from the lead hand off of a slip. Again, the success of my counter punch after the slip is based on my ability to get in close. Now, when you're doing a slip, I need you to be high on your toe. The reason for that is so I can actually pivot on my hooks. My foot is flat, I can't pivot at all. That's something we've talked about in previous lessons. So, in order to practice this, if you want, you can have one of your boys sit there and kind of try to jab you in the face. I get in. Every single time, making sure I step forward. Now, stepping forward isn't the only way to counter. That's if I want to get in close and I want to crush somebody with a power punch. One of the things that I might do is I might slip on my right foot while moving this way. So instead of being directly in front of Tom after the slip, Tom jabs me, I'm out here now. So I'm literally moving off on a right angle while I'm slipping. Now I'm not getting in close, so I'm going to need to throw one of my long attacks, like a right straight. So Tom jabs me, boom. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to punch you in the head.
Keep it going.
One more time, boom. Okay? You need to determine your own style of fighting. If you like being far away, that's cool. You don't need to necessarily slip in and cremate that guy. For some reason, I've always liked fighting like that. Now, if I end up fighting long, boom, I got nice long attacks. I can do all types of stuff staying outside. So, you got slips in, left shoulder drop, slip in, right shoulder drop. You got slip to the right, boom. Technically, you could even just slip directly to the left.
Now you can slip and counterpunch on both sides, which is a good thing, and it means that you're ready to start tying slips and combinations, making people miss multiple punches in a row, coming up with nothing but air. I'll give you that next lesson free on howtofightnow.com. You just have to go to the website, sign up, and it's in the YouTube follow-up section under slipping a 1-2 with noodles, which is, I guess it's not going to make any sense to you now, but I swear it will when you get there, and it'll teach you how to slip multiple punches in a row. So check that out. If you haven't already done so, please like this video, click that guy right there to subscribe to my channel, and this guy right here is going to send you up to the website. If you want to hear Tom say something ridiculous, just keep watching.
Anything else you want to add on slips?
Alright, maybe I'll add a little something. The important thing about a slip is when you make somebody miss, you make them tire. If somebody hits you, it takes a lot less energy to hit you and pull your fist back than to miss, overthrow, and get countered and hit and take your wind away. So slips is very crucial. Boxing emphasizes on it a lot because it is part of the sweet science that makes it really, really effective form of attack.
Write that shit down. I'll see you on the website.
Yeah.